make eye contact with someone, you're not autistic.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they combined the top 1% that are so smart that they can't function and the bottom 1% that absolutely cannot function either, and tried to cover that as the same diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where everybody gets lost and everybody gets confused because there are so many diagnosable things as autism. You can't put your finger on it. Like you have me, who is so gray area and like could or could not be diagnosed as autism. You have you who could be diagnosed as autism. And then you have people who can't fucking speak. How are those the same
Well, like I said,
illness?
back in the 90s, we're like, oh, you see like the 5 kids in your school every once in a while when they're like let out of the room, and you just go, ugh, that was autism. That was the only autism.
No, I saw that as, you had Down syndrome and
Yeah.
you had all these massively bad things that not bad as like, oh my God, I fucking hate that you exist, but oh my God, I feel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad for you. I feel sympathy for you. I wish I could help in some way. And oh my God, like I remember when my sister had her eye surgery because she had a lazy eye and like her eye was glazed over with blood. And I just felt so bad, but I couldn't look at her
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like a bad person because I felt bad for seeing her like that. It's just like, no, you don't want to see anybody that's slightly different. It
Yeah.
sucks. So when you were in elementary school, I know, go back, it's a long fucking ways away. Did you go into an extra class called enrichment or GT or gate?
I don't remember gay. Also, we changed the subject
It's a slight tangential thing.
because I wanted to
You'll
go back
understand it in a
to
minute.
Angelina Jolie or whatever this.
Maybe we'll wrap around back to it. We'll get there. But this is interesting. So you were not in an accelerated class in elementary school.
Well, no, I was in uh gifted, but it didn't have
That's
any
what
of
this
those
is.
names. But that's
Yes.
what I mean. Like it was like, well, it wasn't that. I don't think I
It's the
heard.
gifted program
And like,
is
well, the thing is, like, the difference between us is like the actual line, as we've learned in like other discussions and stuff. Where like I was the absolute last bus out of this town of fuckery when it comes to all these shenanigans and all these new things. We were just gifted, and we didn't have
yeah,
any other
exactly.
names. We didn't have any other things around it. No other courses. No other dilution. I took the IQ test. They put me in a box with some other smart kids, and that was where I was from 4th grade all the way to graduation.
Yeah, on the primary school level, students spend all class time with their peers and receive extra material to challenge them. And they might do things such as Odyssey of the Mind, Destination Imagination, and
None of
academic
that bullshit.
competitions
None of that fake crap.
such as like science fairs and spelling bees, which I
That
think
was
both of
normal
us told the
kids did
story about
spelling
spelling
bee.
bees.
The dummies got spelling bees back in my day.
But you were also given availability to do things like English, Spanish, logic, and extracurricular activities, even in elementary school.
No.
And where was the other part of it? Activities included things such as reading at like a higher level than what you were supposed to, creative writing, sports, computer games, chess, music, dance, foreign language, and art were given at an extra intellectual challenge outside of school hours or when you were taken to their classroom.
What
So, did
fucking
you have any of
bougie
those
ass
experience?
shit was that? No. We were just put in with other smart kids so we didn't get diluted by the dummies. And we just got slightly higher education material. We didn't have any extracurriculars or special stuff.
So, were you put in a windowless or closed off or blocked off classroom?
It was just the classroom that had the teacher that gave us more stuff.
But there was no windows that were blocked off or anything like that.
I think it was an average room.
Because my classroom, they had
Because,
all of
like,
the, it
the
was
thing is,
window,
like,
like
some of our
they were
schools,
blocked.
yeah, some of our regular classrooms just had no windows, and it was just luck of the draw if you got that teacher or the teacher with a window, but it had nothing to do with if you were gifted or not.
Yeah, my classroom had windows, but they had the shades down and the lights turned down to like 25%. Always. Whenever you were in that room, lights were at 25%. The shades were all the way
What
down.
fucking
You were not allowed
clockwork
to look
orange
outside.
shit did you go through?
Hold on. We're going to get into some crazy shit. They also gave us hearing and sight tests where you had to put on these headphones and look into like this, like the fuck is it called? A microscope. It was like a microscope shaped thing where it had like glasses on it. And if you closed one eye, it gave you one picture. If you closed the other eye, it gave you a different picture. And when you opened your eye, the pictures blended together into a third picture.
That's a normal physical exam that every student got, regardless of being gifted.
No.
Yes. Like I said, that's what I mean. Like, I was on the line. You're getting all this treatment. It's like, oh no, the dumbing down and
No,
retardation of
this
your
was a
generation already began
class.
then. That's what I mean. Like, but this is just normal things that happen to all students where I come from.
Some of these things I dealt with my entire class, and then some things we dealt with just this class. So the hearing part of these tests, where they were verbally walking you through this thing in like a gramophone sound, so like the audio would cut out and stuff like that, and it sounded like shit. It sounded like, think of like a Fallout audio recording. That's what this sounds like. And
No,
it's
they
just
just beeped
verbally
in my
walking
left
you
ear,
through
and I
the.
had to raise my left hand if my left ear
That's
beeped.
not what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm
I
saying.
I
Like
know
you,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
and what
Yep.
I'm saying is your shit is so made up and
Not made up. I know it sounds
ridiculous.
psychotic, but it happened. So
No
then
wonder you have ADHD. This is your real trauma.
they gave us these problem solving tests, like being able to work through things and use that logic in things like mathematics and stuff like that, which is where so many people got fucked up. Like, I cannot like visually show my work in math. I can tell you the answer,
Yeah,
even in math that I should not be able to do in my head.
same.
Once I was not allowed to not show my work, didn't fucking care, didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
Problem solving, off the fucking charts.
Yep.
Chess was part of this class.
Nah.
Like they taught you exactly how to play chess. They showed you how all the pieces worked. And even some of the kids knew all of it, and not even because they were taught it, just knew it. Like they could break down chess moves and everything else. Myth, what old co-host of the show, Savant at chess, probably was part of this shit. Then it goes into the weird shit.
Oh, the stuff you haven't taught. You've taught. Sure.
Yeah. So then there's ESP tests where they
Now
will
you're just
use your
lying.
problem
You
solving.
found a 4chan post that
Nope.
sounded hilarious enough, and you're just lying. This is all bullshit from a
I'm not.
creepy pasta about some
There's
Silent Hill children.
there's posts on Yahoo about this. This was talked about on Joe Rogan. It's
This
not
is
something
SCP
stupid.
number 312, and you just stole their story. There's
No,
no
this is
fucking
MK
way you
Ultra
were
for
given an
kindergartners.
ESP test as a part of your gifted run.
So do you remember the
It's not
pink or purple?
1950.
Do you
You're
remember the
not being
pink or
taught
purple
how
liquid
to
that they gave
find
you
the
in school?
bombs from Russia.
Do you remember the pink or purple liquid that they gave you in school? You may or
There's
may
no
not have seen the
such
frog today.
thing.
The fluoride that everybody was forced to drink in school?
There's no such thing. Only
There
in
was.
your Holocaust 1970s, whatever you went through.
So that's where things get weird. So I still have work from this class.
Where is it?
I wrote an entire short story that I will read on
Why
a
don't you
different
have that on your
episode
desk right now to show to the class?
because I want to see the interest in this before I go fully deep. So then you're like, okay, well, all this is bullshit. I completely agree with you. It has to be bullshit, right? So then you go through the things that most of the people that are in these classes either have or dealt with. High IQ. Okay. They say that it's about 130 is the cutoff. Intuitive. So you have the availability to perceive things and see things before they happen. Migraines, intense morals, prophetic dreams. Normally it is the firstborn son. A fear of water or having a near death experience. Ability to get leniency from authority figures. Broken arms and at home trauma. How does all of that make sense?
Well, the thing is, I have like all but two or three things on that list. And
Exactly. Kind of weird, isn't it?
no, because we were just put in the gifted class, which was we're now 1 to 2 grades above everyone else and not getting experimented on.
Verlis, you just told me something crazy. You said you were put in the gifted program and you had 90% of these fucking things that are
Yeah, I don't have a
stereotypically
fear
in this
of
class.
water or near-death experience. Do have fear of heights, but it's just fucking normal. And there
You've
no
never had a
broken
near death
bones.
experience ever?
Well, I don't have a fear of it.
No,
I thought that's what you
that's
said.
not what it's saying.
Oh.
It's saying a fear of water
Or having
or
a
a
near-death
near death
experience.
experience. I have both, but
Uh. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that was after I got diagnosed. Because I feel like every kid has done something stupid enough to almost die. I was fishing during a school field trip because we went to an island for camping and I was playing on a seawall and I went to jump down from the seawall onto a rock to get to my fishing spot, but the rock was slimy, so I fucking face planted onto a metal pipe into my neck unscathed.
and you fell in the water?
No.
Okay.
I
I
fell
was about to
on
say
a metal
you legitimately
I fell on a
you le-
rusty. I jumped down like 6 feet to slip and carry that momentum onto a rusty metal pipe into my neck on a giant like slab of concrete or slimy rock in the water.
so
And no, I was even like almost bled out or something. Like no, I was fine. I had like the smallest little scratch.
so the gifted program throughout the entire 90s, it started in
Not mine.
1982. Yes, started in 19 since 1980. The school districts were allowed to set their own criteria for GATE or GT,
It wasn't called any of that. And they didn't
but
even
it's the
ask me
gifted
any of these
program.
questions. They just gave me a normal ass IQ test where they gave me
Do you
triangles and circles and I had to figure it out.
do you know how many kindergartners got IQ tests that
I
I
did.
know of? I did. That's it.
Everyone that ended up in like the class, because the thing is actually like we were put into the proper gifted class, like fourth, fifth
How
grade
many kids were in
exclusively.
your gifted
But then,
class?
but then
In
after, wait,
fourth
wait, wait,
grade,
wait,
yes, exactly.
wait, wait, wait,
I
wait, wait,
agree.
wait, wait, wait. So like after the kindergarten test, it was like 2 hours a week we would go to a room for just a little, but it wasn't extracurriculars, it wasn't all this shit. It was we had a teacher that was just like, hey, you're smart, here's your here's like a bit more math, here's a bit more
Yes,
reading.
that's exactly this, Verlis.
But it's not GT, it wasn't a gate, and there was no all these other weird things. My room had windows. It was a normal ass gifted program. And then in the fourth grade, they allowed us to be in a room with 20 other people.
So
Every smart person in the town of Port Charlotte, Florida.
now we're going to get into the really, really funny part about this. So the 98th percentile on intellectual ability tests are where the cutoff is for these classes. The 98th percentile is a familiar cutoff for Mensa applicants who qualify for the organization by scoring at least or above the 98th percentile on a standardized intelligence test. So all of these kids that were available for this class should be in Mensa or could take a Mensa test and probably pass it. Interesting. All of these classes were subsidized by the federal government. And then
I
this
mean,
is where it gets
public school is subsidized by the federal government.
yeah, but this was subsidized. If you carried one of these classes, it was subsidized at a different rate, especially if you used these things. And now, before I even say this, when you think about your gifted program, they were all white dudes, weren't they?
No,
Minorities or women?
women.
There you go. So students are significantly less likely to receive gifted services when they were African American or Hispanic than if they were white, particularly when they have white teachers.
I lived in Port Charlotte, Florida.
I don't know Port Charlotte, Florida.
It's only white people.
Yeah,
I
my
think
my
it was
school
a
is 50-50.
novelty. Actually, it was one
It
of
was
the
all
things
white
like
dudes.
it was a novelty that we had like two black kids in the school, and one of them was in our gifted program.
So, for example, and this example comes from 2016, For example, black students are half as likely as white students to be labeled as gifted, even when their test scores are comparable.
There's no that's a fake stat. There's no way.
Socioeconomically disadvantaged students are underrepresented in gifted programs even more than other student groups.
That's wrong considering my background. I got free
Groups
lunch.
so did I. That's not what they're saying. They're saying like the super, super, super poor. Like no parents in the home poor. The kids that absolutely have gotten nothing. Groups underrepresented in the gifted programs, for example, African Americans, ELs, females, and Hispanics, and the poor, are just as likely to contain gifted kids as other groups, but were not
That doesn't seem like
included.
correct stat either.
I can't control what the stats are, dude. Stats are facts.
What I'm saying is they're not pulling from any facts. They're just making that assertion.
Like, obviously, there's bias and stuff like that. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it's weird when things line up across the board. You can say bias is to blame for one teacher or a handful of teachers, but an entire decade worth of teachers, it's kind of weird.
Well, what I'm saying, like, when Harvard and all these institutions have to make it to where, like, the requirements for certain groups are lower, and I don't think that we're dealing with all the same numbers even as it scales into gifted and stuff.
Oh, I completely agree.
There's
I think
already
gifted is
concessions made for, like, accommodating this, so I don't think there's anything exclusionary in Git or whatever it's called.
okay. So here, this describes your gifted class. Gifted students are pulled out of heterogeneous classrooms to spend a portion of their time in a gifted class. These programs vary widely from carefully designed half day or full day academic programs to a single hour each week of educational challenges. Generally, these programs are ineffective at promoting academic advancement because it's not like enriching and extending what
Yeah,
you're
they just
learning in
gave us a
school.
moment to
It's just
breathe
different
away from the
things.
dum-dums.
Exactly. Much of the material introduced in gifted pullout programs, obviously, they failed at teaching gifted kids to pull out because I absolutely cannot pull out. That's why my name's Hot Load. Uh, Deals with the study of logic and its application to fields ranging from philosophy to mathematics. So, why are both of us two weirdly non religious dudes who absolutely understand philosophy and believe in very, very, very hard, rigid morals?
I don't. I was about to say, like, I wonder, like, like, intelligence and morality just seems to be a natural thing, and has
But
nothing
it's
to do with
not.
being gifted.
The autism is where the morality comes in because
Nah,
hardline rules make more sense to you.
no, that's not it.
No, it can't
Cause
be
like,
it.
have you listened to the world's smartest man talk?
No.
I don't remember what that guy's name is, but I watched a lot of interviews with him recently, and he's like one of the most like clearly speaking, immediately like identifiable as intelligent people. And it's like, yeah, he's religious. Who would have guessed? And like, you just morality is not an autism or it's well, actually, it's probably not like an intelligence thing either. But it just makes sense. We're just like, yeah, do the right thing. You have to be above 70 IQ to at least accomplish that. As proven that like you're just an idiot under 80 that can't be taught anything. Actually, yeah, you need probably an IQ over 85 to have morality. I think that's actually been proven.
Okay, so this is the quote. The term gifted and talented, when used in respect to students, children, and the youth, those who show evidence of high performance capability in areas such as intellectual, creative, artistic, and leadership capability, or in specific academic fields, and those who require services and activities not ordinarily provided by the school or in order to fully develop such capabilities.
Yeah, because if you're under 110 IQ, you're an idiot. So of course, if you're actually functioning, you can have some kind of more leadership capability. Also, going back to the gap, tag was after my time. Or like in the middle of my time. It wasn't tag until like 7th grade, and then we're like, why are we bringing all these 110 IQ idiots? We're the 130 smarties. Why are they meshing us now?
So, you want to know where this gets fucked up? the No Child Left Behind Act by George W. Bush,
Yeah, and that's
because then we were
already.
all kind of mainstreamed and available
That's
to
way
be in the
like
same place. So,
everyone knows that, that was horrible.
well, that it's what started degrading this entire system. So, this whole gate conspiracy theory and stuff like that started exploding on TikTok recently.
If it came from TikTok, that means like everything you've
It
described or
exploded
read or inferred is absolute bullshit.
it exploded on TikTok after a conversation on Joe Rogan. Let's just cover that part.
The
And
midwits picked it up, and now it's all bullshit.
exactly. But the things that I listed in that list of the rooms were
Which
windowless,
Joe
closed off for
Rogan
co
episode
talk.
was it talked about? Because I watched all of his episodes. I didn't pick up which that one was,
I
unless it
will
was like
find it.
one of the few
I'll
I
get it for
missed.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem. But all of the things like the rooms were windowless, the hearing and sight test, the problem solving test, the chess, the ESP test, and the fluoride drinks. I'm telling you, I remember all of those. I didn't take
Is
the
this
fluoride
the
drink.
is this the person that like had the autism documentary that's fake on?
I'm not positive. I don't
Because like
know.
why the
I just
fuck
thought
am I
this
looking
was
at
really
the
thoroughly interesting.
why the fuck am I looking at the circle star wave square plus psychic cards for gate research? This is all
Because
unrelated.
that's part of the testing that they gave you.
Look, whatever you were part of wasn't talented and or gifted. You went into some other kind of military psyop and children testing ground, and now
That's my point. It isn't just base shit. It was MK Ultra for kindergartners.
yeah, and
Legitimately.
yours was completely different to mine or any other gifted person.
No.
You
Go
you
watch
got
some of the
cold. You got cold in the separate group where it's like, 95% of the 130 IQ plus kids, they're going to the normal gifted program. 5% are going to this freak show. You do not have the normal connected anything.
that's where the conversation of intuitive and prophetic dreams. So
But I have
the
those.
conspiracy theory is that people that were looked at for the gifted class, they were confused if they were psychic or not.
Not ours. You like this is
What
you
was
gotta
your
stop.
class
We
size?
gotta stop trying to lump gifted into this.
No,
You got
that's
your
what
own.
gate is gifted
No, no,
education.
no. That's why I mean, no, no. Don't use those words. Don't use these fake words. You didn't go into Gate. You went into fucking MK Ultra Part 3. That's what we're calling it. Don't lump you in with me. You got the short straw.
Are you saying that, hey, buddy, you're just slightly below a little bit? Is that all? That's why I was able to save your life last week?
No, I'm saying you got something different. You got something completely different.
It's so interesting. Like
And again,
say
if TikTok and Reddit are talking about it, now we got bullshit. Anyone else ever see a lightning orb? We are we're
have you not
different.
seen an orb of any kind?
Mine was a ghost, not this shit.
Okay, I'll scroll back up to that post and I'll read it. But have you seen an orb? Which is what it's talking about.
What constitutes an orb? Everyone's seen orbs. If you stare at the
Not
sky
everyone.
long enough, you get the little squigglies in your eyes. That's not your brain being psychic. That's because there's shit in your eye.
Yeah, that's being you being fucking retarded and looking at the sky. Yes, I absolutely fucking agree. So let me explain mine. I walked into the living room. I was talking to the guest that we had on the show with Drifter, that I had on the show with Drifter. He's supposedly bullshittery, a psychic medium. I think it's complete ass bullshit. Doesn't make any
We've
fucking
talked about
sense.
this on the show. I know who you're
Yep.
talking about.
But the half of my living room was completely dark, other than the TV being on. But it's still dark in here. You can see that it's dark in here just by my screen now. The only light in here is the three screens. That's it. And my TV console separated the room. So the corner of the TV console was almost pitch black because it was as far away from any light as you possibly could get. Like black, black. That corner of your room over there, black. And I watched something about the size of a basketball and as bright as a fucking basketball light up, come out of the fucking floor, go to the other side of the room in my living room, and go through the wall. I do not have a mental illness to that level. I do not
Many
have those
people
issues.
have had this experience that isn't mental illness, and they are also
Exactly.
sub 130 IQ, so they have nothing to do with gait.
Oh, I completely agree that it has nothing to do with gait.
Because mine
I
was,
would
I was
never.
lying down in bed in a spooky house, and it looked like a dust ball got lit on fire and drifted across the room, like a will-o-wisp kind of shit.
Absolutely. And you hear so many of those stories, but what I was saying was they do not happen to everyone.
I think they happen to everyone. That's why you get all
Even
these kook jobs that are finding spirits and shit.
so this post says, I've been reading about old gate program. I was in it in the late 90s, and I noticed some people mentioning strange orb sightings. It jogged a memory that I've never been able to explain. When I was a kid, my sister and I, being tucked into bed, bunk beds, in our garage. Why the fuck were you in the garage? Your parents are horrible. A garage bedroom, and we're laying down wide awake, staring off into space. Out of nowhere, two glowing orbs, about 8 to 12 inches across in diameter, floated in, hovered between our beds, bounced off each other for a few seconds, making strange bell like sounds, and then zipped through a small crack on the garage door. They looked like somehow a kind of plasma or electromagnetic energy, a bright core, a gassy glow emanating red, blue, and orange glow, but kind of softer, gassier version of plasma globe with a soap bubble exterior. As soon as they vanished, my younger sister said, "Did you see that?" Our parents brushed it off. I've always been a skeptic, but this experience stuck with me. Anyone else able to see something like this?
Okay, why the fuck is this person putting this into gate? This is
Yeah, I don't
not
understand the correlation
unrelated.
of these two things, but I completely have had a similar experience. I don't think it's a gate thing. I think the connection of the two is absolutely fucking stupid.
Then why are we
But I'm not
talking
gonna.
about it? I don't
Oh,
want to
because
read
you
any of
brought
these
up the,
comments.
the connection.
Well, that's what
Like,
I'm saying. Like now you're making this extra fake and extra bullshit. TikTok's on it now. Reddit's on it, and a thread to the show is that we make fun of Reddit because of all these idiots that don't understand the world trying to make sense of it. Now we're getting the midwits into here that are like, I saw an orb, I was gay. No,
no, you weren't gay, you fucking nitwit. But as a whole, there was a thing that did this.
that
So you guys
everyone
don't.
of all intelligence, backgrounds, and cognition have experienced in some way. There's probably a straight line through the probability of whoever's seen this and just every walk of life.
I don't know. And that's me being honest. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
do
was
know
absolutely tested. You were absolutely tested.
that no matter
We were
who you
both in a
are,
gifted program.
there's a 20% chance you've seen an orb no matter who you are, regardless of your situation.
If you gave it those odds, I completely agree with you. 20, 30%, completely agree. I don't disagree with that at all. That's what I'm saying is like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's part of this, but that fucking retard said it was. I think just, 20, 30% of the world sees fucking weird shit. But like the weird little conundrum of all of those things that so many people have, you can't just write it away as, oh, some people just overlap. Why are they also all gate kids?
They aren't all gate kids is the thing. It's some gate kids because it affects everyone. Oh man, gate kids like chocolate milk more sometimes. That's a trait.
That would be stupid, and I would completely agree with you that it's bullshit. Because who the fuck doesn't like chalky milk and chicken tendos?
Mhm. Oh
But
man, tag gate kids, parents who worked in intelligence are strange occurrences ramping up. Bro, it's all bullshit. You got the weird drink. You drank your fluoride, and now
I didn't.
oh
So that's where this is confusing and makes it more kind of logical to me. I have these memories. I'm explaining them to you. And we can go into any of the stuff, including my fucking homework. I have zero problem reading the fucking stupid little story I wrote. I didn't drink the fluoride. I never got the fluoride. I never agreed to take it. I didn't I didn't like the idea of drinking fluoride. That sounds retarded. But there are kids that did and don't remember that we're in the same program.
I wasn't offered the purple drink.
So it's not just like purple drank. Were you offered fluoride either in health class or in a separate class where you had to bring home a permission slip and have your parents sign it, and they're like, you get fluoride this
No,
week? But classes were.
none in the county of Charlotte.
Even my kids were sent home with that paperwork, and I said, fucking no.
That's whatever is happening with the water supply in New York. That is
I know.
unrelated to talented, gifted, the rest of the country. That's just so that the poison doesn't kill you faster than the fluoride.
So then you get the basic normal non-neurotypical answer of it was the fucking ADHD and autistic kids that they wanted to get the fuck out of the classroom so that way the numbskulls could actually learn something because we were too fucking rambunctious.
You would be a distraction for idiots, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely would. Was fucking obnoxious.
See,
And
here's the
wanted to
thing:
flirt
you
with every
actually
female.
weren't in any gifted class. It was the inverse. They were just
Yeah,
like
it was the retard class.
exactly.
Okay.
That's actually see. That's the thing. That's why I can't relate to any of these experiences. No, they give the retards fluoride just to kind of see if it actually does something. Like, oh, if you're at 60, fluoride actually bumps you up to 70 instead of knocking a 100 down to 90. Maybe it actually just pulls you into 80, and that's what they're testing.
Oh, exactly, man.
All these things you're describing are more like, oh, they give it to the special kids, special ed, not special gifted. You might have gotten the wrong diagnosis. This could be some Bart Simpson's thing where they put him in the smart class and then the other kid into the dumb class.
I would completely agree with you.
But
And that's the level that I am thoroughly understanding of life, right? Is like, hey, you could be a fucking retard. How many retards have you heard say, I'm a retard? Because I haven't heard any. They're those people that run around and scream, oh my God, bubbles.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Maybe you don't remember these things, but I do.
Why is there see, that's what I mean. Like, this is a fake TikTok, Reddit image
No.
of things that never
What if-
existed.
So you never played 7 Up? That was a normal kid thing. That should be not in this
Everyone!
picture.
This is not a gifted thing. 90s kids remember. But
The fluoride jugs?
but
Absolutely.
they
fucking
didn't get
remember
the
that shit.
fluoride jugs. 7 Up and
Rorschach
fluoride
tests?
jugs are two different things.
I remember this almost entirely. It was the audio tapes that you used these headphones while you were doing this fucking stupid ass test with. And there's a paint drank.
That was to make sure that your ears functioned, and it actually worked because my brother couldn't actually hear because he had a small ear tubes or something, and he got like he didn't know anything was
But
wrong.
you
No
said
one knew
those were beeps. I remember the beeps too. I understand what you're talking about with that. I completely agree.
because it's
that
an
existed.
audible decibel level. It's not some brain hacking. It's, oh, can you hear 300 hertz? Can you hear 1 million hertz?
Yeah, I remember that completely. No, this was talking,
There was no talking.
but there was.
There was no talking on the other end of the red and blue headphones because that's left and right to find out if your kid has something
They
wrong
weren't
with
red
their
and
ears.
blue. They weren't red and blue in the gifted room. They were fucking all brown. So maybe you might think I'm fucking lying. Why would I lie?
What I'm saying is the conclusions you're trying to pull to
I'm not
are
trying to
the
pull to any
inaccuracies
conclusion.
of
I'm
reality.
saying the class existed. I'm saying the
Like,
thing existed.
and what I've been getting at is like, sure, you went through this experience. I validate you, Zach. Has fucking nothing to do with gifted.
Why the fuck was it the gifted class?
Because, like I said, you were put into some other thing. You were actually in the special ed class, and they called you gifted to make you feel better.
No, no, no.
And
I
then all
really
the
thoroughly
things they
wasn't.
subjected you were the 90s misunderstanding of mental retardation, and they were just trying to cure you. Kind of like how fucking lead was probably used to cure something back in 1910. Just take more cyanide and you'll walk it off.
Maybe. Maybe all this shit's bullshit. Maybe it happened and it just is what it is. Maybe it wasn't MK Ultra for fucking kindergartners. Maybe it was. Who the fuck knows? Like this person, fucking stupid. This sounds so fucking crazy. Do any of you currently practice or attempt to utilize psychic abilities? You're a fucking retard. You're baiting people, you fucking weirdo, and that's hilarious. He said, I had a number of astral projection experiences that I've been seemed to able to put myself into this mindset with meditation and binaural beats. I frequently attempt telepathy, but I have yet to successfully transmit to anyone that I know of. Please don't think I'm crazy. I'm not mentally ill. What the fuck?
Oh, that's like the whole autism tape thing where they like channel and they all go to the hill or whatever. That's all lies. Yeah. I mean, I like in my woo woo, I try to do chakra breathing and stuff, and that sometimes gets tied to like psychic or ESP. I've attempted remote viewing just out of fun. Did all right. I suck at the circle wave plus symbol cards though. Stand Up Math just did a video about it recently, which is also a weird thing how it's all tying together.
I don't know. I'll look more into this if you guys are interested. You guys tell me. I, I don't care if this comes off as absolutely butt fucking retarded. It doesn't fucking bother me. I think it is also sort of butt fucking retarded. But there's also a part of it that, sticks out so fucking rawly that it's kind of hard to be like, oh my fucking God, what the hell's going on? Like those experiences happened. And obviously, it's not just, I told you to say this kind of thing. It's a shared experience that people across the country and in Canada also had. But it's like, why
But
were
it's
you
just the
giving
most fake baiting because I was like thinking about that picture you showed where it's
exactly?
like where it had like a telepathy section which we just didn't talk about. It's like no one had that, and anyone putting that in a meme is just sprinkling bullshit into this.
Exactly. Like I could see where there's bullshit. I completely agree there's bullshit. I'm not disagreeing there's bullshit. I think there's absolutely bullshit of people being either funny or butt fucking retarded fucking with this conspiracy theory. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were fucking testing on fucking kindergartners. Would you?
Well, like I said, you were in the 5% unlucky that I got tested on. You got the Clockwork Orange shit.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that the United States government in 2001 were testing on fucking second graders.
Yeah, I've already accepted that you were MK Ultra 3. And I guess I'm lucky that I haven't cuz I say all kinds of crazy shit. I can't account the government can't account for what a furry is going to say to a retard on a podcast. So it is actually astonishing that I haven't accidentally said your trigger word that just like sets you off into whatever you were programmed for.
And even crazier, we figured out that mental illness could just be evil and the devil. And last week we figured out crazy fucking things too. Like it's not even like It could be the fucking ramblings of two madmen, or it could be actual like shit that could change things. I don't know. It could just be complete retardation. We'll find out at some point, right?
Sure.